Cindy's Choice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Giving Chattanooga a voice. It's Cindy's Choice.
Yes, it's Cindy's Choice to celebrate and collaborate the community. Cindy here on WGOW Talk Radio 102.3 FM, the Talk Monster. If you want to call in and join this conversation, you are more than welcome to do so. Just dial 267-1023. That's 423-267-1023. You may be listening at WGOW.com. You can listen live there or on TuneIn Radio. That's a great app to download, listen live there, or maybe on social media, because we are coming at you live via Zoom as we practice social distancing, but we are recording this session so that we can share it on social media. So thank you for joining us there as we get busy and celebrate and collaborate our community. And Cindy's Choice is, we are integrity-centric businesses that care. We really care about the community, and we want to contribute through collaboration. And I'm so honored to be trusted with managing that collaboration. So check out more at cindyschoice.com. You'll find links to all of these integrity-centric businesses that care at cindyschoice.com. And I'm very, very eager to jump in with our guest this evening, as I have Mark Hite with us of the Mark Hite team, Keller Williams downtown. Did I get it all in right there, Mark?
You got it all in, Cindy, and I'm very happy to be with you this evening.
Now, this is awesome. We've had a few conversations, and I always get really excited. Each time we've had conversations, I recognize, how much more synergy that we have. But Mark, I recognize that early on because you are so involved in the community. When I think of Mark Hite, you're a realtor. You have a successful real estate team, realtor team here in our community. But what comes to mind first is your involvement in our community. And that's what originally got my attention. You're very involved in, literally involved, raising funds and awareness for some very important causes. And that's a lot what Cindy's Choice is about. And that's what part of our collaboration is about. So I kind of wanted to start there with just kind of letting our listeners get to know Mark Hite a little bit better.
Well, thank you. Fundamentally, I grew up in rural Western Kentucky with parents that were hardworking folks. My daddy worked for TVA. My mother worked from the time I was 6 weeks old. And so until my father passed away, above his chair was a picture of John F. Kennedy, which was, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And so, Cindy, that's kind of how I live my life. I have been so blessed. I moved to Chattanooga with my previous career, which was in retail 20 years ago, and got into real estate 18 years ago. And I have been blessed by this community that is welcoming to people who are interested in working hard and taking care of folks, and I think giving back and contributing to the overall success of our community.
Yes, it's referred to as the Chattanooga Way, and it's what brought me. I'm originally from Texas, but this is my third time's the charm, and I just couldn't resist the Chattanooga charm because it's a really incredible culture that we have here. And the Nooga Strong thing just really applies when it comes down to it. Our community does pull together. But I love the JFK quote because that's a lot not that exact quote, but that's kind of what got me going with Cindy's Choice. Is I was tired of hearing myself talk. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk anymore until I'm taking some kind of action in a positive direction to contribute. Then I'll start speaking up more. But until then, I'm not going to have anything to say because it really is about what we do. And the more people that come together to do good things, to create a good collaboration, the better for us all, which it says that right there in your logo. It's the Mark Hite team. And I love that you have, how does it go? Together?
Team, TEAM, together, everyone achieves more. And that's how we are as a working group. And that's how we can be as a community.
Yes.
Because Chattanooga, 1969, we had the dirtiest air in America. And, today we have the most beautiful riverfront and the most inhabitable downtown of any, in my opinion, place in America. And
Yes.
so, but that didn't happen, by accident. That happened by people rolling up their sleeves, working together, and doing things that weren't normal for that period of time. Because, in the late 90s, people were not investing in downtowns in mid-sized cities in the South. But we
Right.
were very fortunate that Jack Lupton had a vision and put some seed money and other community leaders when you and I weren't here leading the cause to help lay out a better community for us.
Yes, no, it truly is wonderful. We first came here in '89, and all of the riverfront stuff, the aquarium was just being built. All that was just happening here, but there were still a lot of foundries downtown, and there was a lot of, air pollution and so forth. And what all the transformation has done for our community, and still bringing more manufacturing and so forth as well because of that, it was just a win-win-win for everyone. But I feel really thankful. I've left twice. This is my third time back to Chattanooga, but over time, I've been here 20 years. It's just been broken up a little bit. But I really feel, I'm so glad that I got here at a transitional time for Chattanooga, so that I can appreciate so much more what we do have and what it has become. And that's a lot how I like to use this platform, is to remind us that we have a lot of newcomers, and we want to remind them that this is pretty incredible. This was very intentional, what we have here. And that's why you find a lot of passion-driven people who want to just create more and keep leading us that direction, for sure. But that also makes me think, too, as a realtor, I often advocate for our realtor community, and that you guys are held to a different standard, because you are actually ambassadors for our community. And that's why I love helping people remember that and promoting that, because realtors play a big part in a community.
We absolutely do. We are oftentimes the introduction to home ownership for folks coming from all around the world. But just as importantly, we have a responsibility to facilitate home ownership for everyone in our community, regardless of their race, their creed, their color, their familial status, their sexual orientation, large or small. We have an obligation to treat everyone fairly and equally, because
Yes.
home ownership should be an American right.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that that stays available to everyone in our community, regardless of their socioeconomic status. And so that's what makes America different in this world that we live in today.
No, yes, and so well said. And again, that ties right back in to help us just recognize our synergy that much more, because that's why I emphasize with Cindy's Choice, more and more consumers there's a lack of trust out there, and consumers are looking for platforms they can trust. And that's why I emphasize, and I'm very selective and very protective of what I'm doing, because I want it integrity centric. I want people that really do care. It's just not a marketing ploy for them. They really care, and they have the courage to collaborate, and they want to contribute. And that's something that another tagline I use a lot is Cindy's Choice is to be brave and make a difference. It's not easy to collaborate. We have to get out of ourselves. We've got to look at the bigger picture and not get offended too easily, and focus on what we do have in common and move forward together in that. And you building a successful team like you have, I'm sure you relate to that very much so.
Absolutely. I mean, we had our first in-person meeting since, this year, actually. We'd had some small group meetings, but yesterday was our first opportunity. We went over to Public House to celebrate some birthdays, because normally we celebrate every month or two, but it's been several months since you could bring together a group of 20. And we set appropriately. They set our tables out. Everything was very safe. And we spent some time talking about this summer and our importance of how we cooperate with other agents and our clients. Because Cindy, right now in this world, it's an anomaly. There's such a low number of homes available for sale. We thought last year was tight. We're about 25% below last year. So that means there's a propensity for things to not be as nice and ugly and competitive. And we spent a whole hour talking about how we were going to be the best. We were going to lead with cooperation and lead with communication. That's how we don't have misunderstandings, is you come first with information and you seek first to understand where the other person's coming from. And I think that applies to every business leader, business owner, employee, whatever your role is that's listening today, is seek first to understand and make sure it's a win-win. Somebody doesn't have to be with their knee to their chest and somebody lost, in order to make both parties successful. So I think it applies not just in real estate, but in any avenue of life.
That is awesome advice, and I gotta laugh at Kurt telling me to break there in his very creative manner. But we'll pick up right there with that type of leadership when we get back from the break. Stay with us here on Cindy's Choice.
We got a good dose of cabin fever after being cooped up at home. The restrictions have eased, but don't forget to distance as you work and play. Keep it locked on the Talk Monster for the latest on the COVID recovery.
Life moves, and we move with it until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings us to a stop. That's why there's the Joint Chiropractic. At the Joint Chiropractic, we offer quality chiropractic care that's both convenient and affordable. You never need an appointment or insurance, and we're open evenings and weekends. Visit today and keep your life moving. The $29 new patient special, including exam, consultation, and adjustment. Located in Hickson and Chattanooga's North Shore. Visit thejoint.com for details.
Are you looking for a home inspector? Are you looking to sell your house this year? My name is Desmond Thornton. I'm with Thornton Home Inspections. Visit us online at thorntonhomeinspections.net. We actually can help you get your home sold. Also, we have additional services such as radon testing, mold testing, indoor air quality testing, termite, asbestos testing, lead paint, and others. If you're needing any services like this, feel free to reach out to us at thorntonhomeinspections.net. If there's a service that we can perform for you, contact us at thorntonhomeinspections.net.
Picture this scenario. A shortage of fuel has closed your electric utility, or any possible disaster has just devastated your town. You're out of power, no lights, and no news. That's why federal and state agencies urge every home to have an emergency radio. Now you can get a free Dynamo World Band emergency radio. This powerful radio lets you stay informed during any type of emergency. It doesn't even need batteries and comes with a hand-crank generator and super bright LED flashlight. The Dynamo emergency radio includes the NOAA weather band, a long-range AM receiver, a high-sensitivity FM band, and even a USB jack to charge cell phones or other devices. The Dynamo emergency weather band radio retails for almost $30. But Newsmax wants to make sure you get this radio. So check out the free offer for the emergency radio by going to gettheradio.com. That's gettheradio.com, or call 800-NEWSMAX. This radio could save your life. This is a limited offer and may end soon, so order today.
If you've ever used a weed killer, you have to hear this message. I'm attorney Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Recently, one of our lawyers was part of a team that helped secure a verdict for a couple who contracted cancer after using Roundup. If you're a farmer, casual gardener, or anyone else who has used weed killers, you may not know that studies suggest that glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup, may increase the risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto allegedly was aware of the risk posed by Roundup, but failed to disclose them to the public. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and you have used Roundup, you could be owed money for damages. Contact us today for a free case review. You pay nothing unless we recover money for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Call 844-949-0599. 844-949-0599. Attorney Advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Over 50 offices nationwide. Main office, Orlando, Florida.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Thank you. Thanks for staying with us here on Cindy's Choice. As we jump back into celebrating and collaborating our community, Mark Height with us this evening of the Mark Height team, Keller Williams Downtown. And I wanted to pick up where we left off because you were talking about seeking to understand and to lead with that. And, you know, I'm a super I'm an empath. I just feel everything. I have just a really good understanding. That comes easy for me. And I've had to learn that comes easy for me. It's most people have to get very intentional about that. And so now I've had to seek to understand that all of us have different skill sets, and it's in different experiences and different awarenesses. And I have to, be more patient and understand it doesn't come as easy for some people. They've got to develop a new habit of seeking to understand, where that comes a little easier for me, where, I stumble more in other areas. So that's great advice. And I love that you're recognizing that this is going to be a competitive time in the real estate industry with less inventory. And you have to respect that and be very cooperative with others in your industry. And again, that's just evidence of you stepping up to the plate as far as realtors being ambassadors for our cities.
Absolutely. At Keller Williams, we have 160,000 agents nationally,
Wow.
and we have a predetermined belief system it's called our WI4C2Ts. And one of the first is W, win-win or no deal, but seek first to understand. Cindy, every disagreement I have personally or professionally starts with misunderstanding.
Yes.
And if you seek first to understand the other person's perspective, you've got a chance to get on the same page, collaborate, and figure out what is a win. And you'll end with integrity, which is why you and I get along so well, is because, integrity, do the right thing. As I described it to my team yesterday, I said, you know what, any decision you have to make in life, I said, what I can always come to the bottom and say, would I be embarrassed to tell my mother, my mama, as I call her, because she raised us to love and accept anyone. We didn't come from a lot of affluence. They were working class folks, and respect was really a fundamental we grew up with. So that's how I deal with each day and each decision. We'll help 500 families achieve their homeownership goals this year. And there's a lot of challenges that go in there.
Yes.
Our job is to provide solutions. And so often, if we seek first to understand in anything we do, we're going to come up with a win-win solution.
No, that's awesome. And as you know, I share a lot of my personal story on here where I wasn't raised with good guidance. And I had to get very intentional because I recognized that I had good integrity and I was trying so hard to do the right thing, but I was ending up with wrong results. And I realized I was caring more about like pleasing other people and then really being true to myself and what I knew was right. So that's why I say it's Cindy's choice to be brave and make a difference. If you have integrity, that's going to get challenged, just like you just shared. You have a lot of difficult situations to navigate and manage, and that integrity gets tested constantly. So there's a degree of courage that has to go along with standing up for what's right and staying true to that and demonstrating that.
And that's how we, over the last few years, the real estate business, I'm very fortunate to say, it provides me with the resources and the time to get involved in a lot of different things in our community.
Yes.
There are, I think we each have our passions and items that are personal to us. But Habitat for Humanity is one of those. I've served on the board. We chaired a luncheon called Raise the Roof last year, which was our first $100,000 event. And of course, Raise the Roof will be back again this September. But quality, affordable housing should be open and available to every American. And I am passionate about that. I mean, affluence is amazing. Yet if we don't help someone who just needs a hand up, not a handout, then at the end of the day, how are we leaving this better than we found it?
Exactly. Exactly that. Habitat for Humanity is one of those on my radar that I'd love to be sure and tag me when you get involved with that again, because I can't keep up with everything that you support and that you're involved with, Mark. And we support a lot of things through Cindy's Choice, but I have so many passions. I'm like you. It's like I want to help with everything, and I'm trying to streamline that a little bit so we can have a little more of an impact. But I know just recently, because you're involved with a lot of other friends and associates in the Go Red for Women, and I was eager to hear. I know everything's kind of offset a little bit right now with having to do everything through technology and so forth, because I love these types of gatherings and supporting the luncheons and so forth like that. So how did that go? Tell us a little bit about your involvement with and what led you to support Go Red with Women.
Oh, thank you. I am passionate. My mother is 84 years old, and she has suffered with hypertension for almost 50 years.
Wow.
And so, it is a disease, cardiovascular disease, and stroke is the #1 killer of women in our country. In fact, Cindy, cardiovascular disease and stroke kill more women than all cancers combined.
Wow. And you would think, I mean, I think of that as a man's disease. I don't know why, but I just don't think of that. I think other things come up when I think of women that they're more at risk for.
Absolutely. Latrice Curry, who is a dear friend and who suffered a pulmonary embolism last August, which almost took her life. Latrice has been our host, our MC, for the Go Red for Women movement here locally for a number of years. And I was so thankful to get to share the podium with her for our virtual luncheon this year, because Latrice had come back from a life-threatening event. And if you look at Latrice, she was height and weight proportionate. She exercised on a regular basis. She managed her diet, and this horrible thing happened to her. And she and I kind of shared within a 60-day period. I'm reasonably height and weight proportionate. I do deal with hypertension and have since I was in my 30s, 20 years ago. But I had a heart attack last September, Cindy.
No way.
Absolutely. And so heart disease takes no prisoners. And women, the reason I'm so passionate is because it presents differently in women. And women are traditionally in our culture the caregivers. You dismiss that exhaustion that you're suffering with, or that excessive sweating that you're dealing with, or that pain in the middle of your back is, I just didn't sleep good last night. When in reality, it's a cardiovascular event that's presenting itself. And because we ignore these, because they're busy taking care of the rest of the world, their husbands, their spouses, their children, their parents, they just motor on, and it is a disastrous result. And so that's why information starts first. With us, Go Red is a movement that goes year-round now. And the luncheon, which became a lunch-in this year that we did virtually, we still made over $300,000 right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So one of the most profitable luncheons in the community. And I was so proud of my executive leadership team who just carried the heavy weight and helped raise the money. And you know what was really cool? Even though it went from a lunch-in to a lunch-in, every single sponsor stuck with us and made their commitment. Wow.
That's incredible. That is so awesome.
And that's about a community. That's when someone says, I was talking, to the, president of First Tennessee or First Horizon. I struggle with that, and he's like, you know what? We give back to our community. We invest in our community, not for the marketing prowess that it may give us, but because it's important to invest. And so that's what I've tried to do as I've been successful, thankfully, with real estate over the years, is choose opportunities to invest. Primarily, you'll see me with women and children. The Chambliss Center for Children is one of my passions. We care for over 700 children a day in our child care program, totally income-based. And we need volunteers. If you're listening, you got some extra time on your hands. We always need volunteers in that organization. As we mentioned, Habitat for Humanity. And I'm going to tell you the other thing, Mary Ellen Loker Breast Cancer Center. I've been involved with Pink for several years, and my passion there has been in Color Chattanooga Pink, which is about awareness. Because Cindy, it's all about early detection. And within a 60-day period last year, between November and January, I had 3 personal friends, all through self-diagnosis, realized that they had a lump and ended up, with breast cancer.
Exactly.
So,
and that I love hearing that you're involved with that, Mark, because I shared with you how I was here in the early 2000s when Mary Ellen Loker, I was sat on the first board when she was still meeting at the church over there, getting the scholarship fund going, and saw firsthand so many stories. I was the manager at the Hummingbird Garden, which was the cancer boutique at Erlanger Mall. So that is something that really I have a pretty good understanding about, and it's something it does touch so many women and men too. That's what it's crazy. We forget how many men are affected by that, not just because of their spouses or their loved ones, but because they get the breast cancer directly themselves. Well, hey, we've already ran through this segment. We're up on the next break, but we've got plenty more. So stay with us here on Cindy's Choice.
WGOW. Breaking news. But wearing flip-flops?
No, he flip-flops. There's no question about that.
That's summer news. Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
Cindy here to tell you, when I need help with my vehicles, East Ridge Fast Lube is my auto repair shop. From minor fixes to complete system overhauls, they do it all. Find them near the tunnel on Ringgold Road or at eastridgefastlube.com.
I'm here with Jay Kinnemer and Brent Burks, the insiders at the McMahon Law Firm. Jay, I often refer to you guys as Chattanooga's board-certified attorneys. You're based right here in Chattanooga, but you're not limited to just Chattanooga.
That's right. I am licensed in Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and handle cases in all 3 states. And as far as board certification, there's no comparison. The public needs to know that. Less than 2% of attorneys are board certified by the National Board of Trial Advocacy. Most of the ones you see that aren't us can't even submit the application. They don't have the qualifications to do it. We come recommended by doctors, adjusters, defense attorneys, and even judges. That, folks, is why insurance companies listen to us and ignore the settlers.
Folks, if you need an attorney, don't hire just anybody you saw on TV or somebody you saw on a billboard. Hire Chattanooga's board-certified attorneys, Jay Kinnemer and Brent Burks. 25 years experience right here in Chattanooga. 265-1100, the McMahon Law Firm. 265-1100.
Hello, this is Tommy Taylor with Thomas Taylor CPA, a CPA here in Chattanooga on Heritage Business Court. We work with small businesses, helping them with their tax concerns, their bookkeeping, helping them understand their business and how to make their business better, working with their cash flow. I also work with individuals, whether they're large or small. We love helping them achieve the dreams and goals that they have. You can reach us at our website at www.thomastaylorcpa.com.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and it starts with simple words and phrases. And soon, you're putting those words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. The app is really smart. It actually keeps track of the words I'm struggling with, so I can practice them and get better. I chose Babbel because it was created by real language teachers. They built it around real life, how people actually communicate, and what they care about. I can't wait to use my new language skills in the real world. Dos cervezas, por favor.
With Babbel, get conversational in Spanish, French, German, and more. It just takes 10 to 15 minutes a day. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Cindy here to tell you, when I need help with my vehicles, East Ridge Fast Lube is my auto repair shop. From minor fixes to complete system overhauls, they do it all. Find them near the tunnel on Ringgold Road or at eastridgefastlube.com.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dinovite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us here on Cindy's Choice. So enjoying my conversation with Mark Height of the Mark Height team, Keller Williams downtown. And I want to respond a little bit to what you're saying, Mark, in the last segment, because that's a good segue to talk about Cindy's Choice and all this involvement and all this passion you have as a business owner that you're able to contribute to the community. There are so many business owners out there that really want to be more involved and they want to contribute. And that's a lot what has spurred Cindy's Choice. As I was one of these business owners, I don't know if you know these statistics, but only 40% of small businesses are profitable. 30% break even, 30% are losing money, and over 80% of small businesses do not make it over 5 years. So these are crazy statistics that haven't changed for a long time, and now we have this big COVID hit that's causing all kinds of issues on top of that. But the original mission of Cindy's Choice was to help a support system for small businesses that did want to give, because I was that little solo person out there where it was all I could do to run my construction company or run my clothing business. And I wanted to give back. I wanted to show up for things that I had to stay so operational just to stay afloat and get something going that I could just never fathom how I could give back. And that's how I came up with the idea for Cindy's Choice is like, what if that's all I do is go give back to the community on behalf of these small businesses? If we create a collaboration, then I can get out there and do good in the community on behalf of them. And it's working. It's working. There's small businesses that are new to the area, and they are all consumed with getting started, with attracting the right team, with building the infrastructure. They have a heart of gold. They want to give back. They're just not there yet. So I could come alongside them, take something off their plate and kind of run with it on their behalf and have this incredible collaboration. But then I also come across partners, alliances like the Mark Height team, where you're out there doing that, but we're able to just amplify and collaborate and do that much more together in our community. So I love your example of that. And I love that that's a great segue for me to talk about what Cindy's Choice is doing. And we have incredible momentum right now. We're creating the Cindy's Choice Realtor Exchange with wonderful integrity-centric realtors like yourself. But there are these businesses that are coming on board. And I have to be careful. I used to just list them, and now I forget some because we're starting to get quite a few on board. But, you know, Chicken Salad Chick was the very first business to come on board, to see the vision of Cindy's Choice and come on board. And now we've got the Joint Chiropractic, we've got Cancer Photography, we've got Thornton Home Inspections, we've got Chattanooga Sports, we've got Thomas Tyler Cpa. You can hear like some of the ads running during the show. We have more and more businesses coming on board who are contributing to our economy by building their business and creating more jobs by growing small businesses. That in itself is giving back to our community. But then when you can add the bonus of getting out in the community and contributing to causes and demonstrating that collaboration, it's just a win-win-win for everyone. So with that said, I want to thank you. Thank you for recognizing so quickly what we're doing. And I know you get it because it's what you're doing. That's why you get it.
You know, you and I met personally for the first time on the Victory Run.
Yes.
You know, the Bachelor Institute, Tracy and Chris Lassar are wonderful community leaders and good friends of mine, frankly. And
big encouragers of mine. They've been very encouraging to me.
And, and they, Chris created that practice about the ability to see people promptly. It shouldn't be a backlog. It shouldn't be a monolith. It's about how do we help people keep their limbs. The most fundamental need is the ability to walk and the ability, so those are the kinds of people I like to work with. I've probably got the most diverse group of friends in the community, but everyone has a similar mission. It's like, just do the right thing and help as you can help. And that's what I like about what you're working on, Cindy, here is about, regardless of your level of affluence, of the size of your business, how do we pull together a group of people that together you achieve more?
Yes.
And I just have been overwhelmed over the last couple of years. I'm not an affluent person, but as we've been blessed, we have been able to give back of our time and our talents, and so all our resources. And so often it's about influence. So many of the people that you're working with, if they just share, it's kind of like the, I tell 10, you tell 10, those 10 tell 10. There's a lot of good things happening in our community. And when you can pull some folks together, you can get, it becomes exponential.
Yes. And that's why I appreciate, because like I said, a lot of people that listen to me, they know my story. I got a clean start in Chattanooga. I got hit hard. I literally, because of not having a healthy network of support, needing to break free of that, it led me to homelessness, where I had the choice of facing homelessness and navigating a new start that way, or going back to old cycles and depending on people that did not have my best interest in mind. And I chose to brave it forward because I'd been in that defeating cycle way too long at that point. And I mean, that's a short version, very short version of the story, but in a nutshell, that's what it was. I could face this new direction, brave, which was dangerous, or I could go back to a cycle that was very dangerous as well. And I chose to move forward. So it's been a slow growth for me, Mark, because I had to get out there and earn the respect and the trust of the community, get to know people, create the awareness. And when you do it that way, Josh Patton, my first client, Chicken Salad Chick, we spent months getting to know each other before he came on board as my first client. It's been that way with each person. I know Brad Cancer Photography from the Chamber of Commerce. We've been involved very much together, but if I keep having to get to know people to that degree, it is going to be a tremendously slow growth. But then I find alliances like yours, where you have integrity and you value integrity-centric people that care, and you already have those in your network. And those established integrity-centric people, we can bring more together faster now and do more together in the community because of that. And I just want to thank you. I appreciate your alliance in this, because realtors are your go-to people. And that's what Cindy's Choice is being established at cindyschoice.com. That's a site you can go to when you need trusted sources. We're establishing ourselves as a resource for trusted sources. But that's what realtors are in our community, because of you being the first relationship that so many people have when they move.
And that is what I'm excited about with Cindy's Choice, is the opportunity to partner with additional layers of resources. So, your heating and air unit, or your air, it's summertime, your air went out. Who's a reliable, community-focused person that I need to call, not just to get a safe, good deal, but also somebody who gives back to our community? And so this is the opportunity now for folks to reach out to you and either apply or nominate to be a part of Cindy's Choice. It's like Bean Heating and Air. They are my go-to folks. They are reliable. When somebody says, I got a heating and air need, you know what? I like them because they do a good job. They fix my unit, reprogram my nest, but just as importantly, they support Habitat for Humanity, because they understand housing is a fundamental right.
And see,
so Those are the kind of people we're looking to attract, I think, on
Yes,
Cindy's
no,
Choice.
you're exactly right. And what I want to point out about that is I didn't know that about them. And that's because most people are not, in this self-promoting society that we have now with the internet, most people are not self-promoters. And that's a lot what happened when I met Josh Patton. He's the owner. He had 2 locations at the time. He has 5 or 6 now. I can't keep up with him. And he was out personally taking Chicken Salad Chick to the community kitchen, to some other homeless nonprofits and so forth like that. And here he was, this busy, overwhelmed guy trying to add a 3rd location. And I'm like, Josh, I need to do that for you. And I go, I know you're doing that because that's your heart. You're not doing it for PR, for promotion. But you know what? People need to know this about you. And that's what Cindy's Choice can do. I'm choosing you because this is your heart. And people need to understand about that, because I have a article here that was really interesting where they did, I love statistics, Mark. And this particular article is saying nowadays, more than ever, there is a problem with trust. People are skeptical about what they are seeing on the internet and who to trust. But they are saying that 62% of respondents have growing concerns about product experience and customer experience. Those are the 2 biggies: product experience, customer experience. But 67% have concern with the social impact that a business makes. That is a growing trend in our area. How are people going to know that they can trust you? You've got to demonstrate that trust. And they're even saying, a lot of marketers, they don't treat consumers like they're very smart. And they just do these gimmicks and trends that make it look like they're doing something that they're not. And you've got to be authentic with your giving as a business. And as a business owner, how many hats you have to wear, how many things you have to manage, and especially if you're a new business and still in development stages. So being able to line up with a collaboration that's doing that on your behalf so you can support that and still be involved when, I'll give you a good example there, Mark. We had the first ever Cindy's Choice Office Olympics in January. And it was awesome. We raised money for Special Olympics Tennessee. And I did all the organizing of, get all the sponsorship, got all the volunteers there. And the Cindy's Choice collaborative business owners showed up with their T-shirts. I gave them a whistle, and they were officials for the event. So they contributed. I could not have pulled that event off if it had not been for them. We could not have supported Special Olympics Tennessee. But these busy operational business owners, they just had to show up, contribute, be involved for those few hours, enjoy the connection, the collaboration, enjoy the give back, if you will, because that's the fun of it, is being there and watching the Special Olympics Tennessee recipients, enjoy themselves so much. So that's something they would not have been able to be involved with if not for me out there, or if they can't afford a full-time person to go manage that for them. But they would not have been able to be involved with that if they haven't had Cindy's Choice in line with them there. And hey, Kurt, just let us know we got to go to another break, but we've got more. Stay with me as we talk more with Mark Height of the Mark Height team. Stay with us, Cindy's Choice.
As we get back to a semblance of normalcy, consider distancing and wearing a mask for safety. And for the latest on the COVID recovery, get the app, Talk Radio 102.3 FM.
Are you looking for a home inspector? Are you looking to sell your house this year? My name is Desmond Thornton. I'm with Thornton Home Inspections. Visit us online at thorntonhomeinspections.net. We actually can help you get your home sold. Also, we have additional services such as radon testing, mold testing, indoor air quality testing, termite, asbestos testing, lead paint, and others. If you're needing any services like this, feel free to reach out to us at thorntonhomeinspections.net. If there's a service that we can perform for you, contact us at thorntonhomeinspections.net.
Right now, this pandemic has caused so many hardships. The government has extended the IRS filing deadline. You can't ignore your tax debt forever. Perfect Tax Relief can help. Call 930-4660. Make no mistake, if you owe back taxes, the IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, even take your property. Many people are facing hardships, and right now is the best time to negotiate your debt. Call 855-930-4660 and let our team of tax resolution specialists work on your behalf to immediately stop the threatening letters, embarrassing phone calls, and negotiate a permanent settlement that works for you. Perfect Tax Relief has been helping taxpayers for over a decade and is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Let us help you like we've helped thousands of others in your situation. Call now, 855-930-4660. Don't do it alone. Call now for a free consultation at 855-930-4660. That's 855-930-4660.
Chicken Salad Chick is Cindy's choice for a great catering option. There are 12 delicious recipes made fresh daily with plenty of amazing sides and desserts to choose from. Enjoy it by the scoop, in a croissant, or on toasted bread. How about a chicken salad or a pimento cheese BLT? And there are turkey sandwiches and soups as well. I'm Cindy, and my favorite is the Cranberry Kelly. There is something for everyone at the 3 local locations. Go to chickensaladchickchattanooga.com. chickensaladchickchattanooga.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by joining John Vandergrift of Blue Ridge Wealth Planners Tuesday evenings at 7 for Plan for Everything. Make retirement the best time of your life. Don't wing it, plan for it. Plan for Everything with John Vandergrift every Tuesday evening at 7. Advisory services offered through Blue Ridge Wealth Planners, a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Madison Avenue Securities, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC.
Time passes quickly. Before you know it, children are grown, parents or grandparents are gone, and your family has changed forever. A Cancer family portrait can capture those family connections for many a lifetime to come. I am Cindy of Cindy's Choice, and Cancer photography is Cindy's Choice because Brad Kanzler is highly revered as a storyteller that uses photography to create distinctive portrait art. Find out more about owning a Kanzler at kanzlerphotography.com. That's kanzlerphotography.com.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us here on Cindy's Choice. We still got a little bit more time, so thank you for hanging in there as we wrap up the show with some great information. Like I am wanting to give a shout out to the Chattanooga Breakfast Rotary. Go to ChattanoogaBreakfastRotary.com. Check out more about them. They've really honored me with inviting me to speak on June 19th. I'll be sharing a little bit of my story of transitioning from homelessness to build, I don't want to say the healthiest network of my life, but to build an incredibly healthy network that's going to help a lot of people beyond me. So June 19th, I'll be able to share there, ChattanoogaBreakfastRotary.com. We appreciate you. And be sure and go to cindyschoice.com. You will find, I listed businesses. I know I missed a lot. I missed Blue Potato Media. I missed SSP Marketing. I've got to stop listing them out because there's getting too many on there, but you can find them all at cindyschoice.com. My information is there. If you're a business, if you want to be a part of this collaboration of integrity-centric businesses that care about the community and want to contribute through collaboration, reach out to me there. Mark's on board, which is just amazing. I look forward to some incredible future collaborations with you, Mark. And we've got a little bit of time here. I wanted to, I like what you're posting here recently. It's just such positive, good vibes that you're putting out there. And that's a lot that's me. I use social media for positive reflecting. I don't like to get into anything political or any. It's all about positive energy, attracting more integrity-centric thinkers. And I share with me a little bit. I'm trying to recall. You had a couple of good posts here recently. Share some of that positivity with us.
My thought this morning, and it's really shaped by kind of, if you follow me or hang with me, my thoughts in the morning are really kind of related to the world and what we're dealing with. And my post this morning, after I've watched night after night of protest and anarchy in our world, I said, change is inevitable, but participation is not. Cindy, the world is changing at such a rapid pace, and whether we choose to embrace it, accept it, and be a part of it, or resist it, it's each of our individual choices.
Exactly.
But you know what? We each make a choice to make the world a better place.
You just described Cindy's choice, keyword choice, because that's what it's about is, I had a life of challenge and I made a choice for change. Now I get to champion my community. But if I had to make that choice, I had to take responsibility. I could not blame anyone for where I was at, even though there was a lot of bad circumstances and situations. I had to take responsibility and realize change is inevitable. We have to embrace it. And I love what you said early on in the show is lead with, how did you say it? Seeking understanding.
Seek first to understand.
Seek first to understand. And that, in a nutshell, captions it really, really well. And again, I want to thank Mark Hite for joining me. I want to thank you for joining us here on Cindy's Choice every Wednesday, every Friday, live 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., right after Sport Talk. Friday is Insights with Cindy. Saturday morning, Outside with Cindy, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., right after Tony Sanders Outdoors. We've got Fleet Feet and the Joint Chiropractic joining us this Saturday. So join us then. Find out more at cindyschoice.com. You can find Mark. What's your website, Mark?
MarkHiteHomes.com.
MarkHiteHomes.com. Thanks again. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Kurt. That's a wrap.